Altadena. We do. On Saturday, March 8th at 10 a.m., it's the premiere of Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr. This new weekly show will explore the deep roots and resilience of Altadena's Black community as we track its recovery and reimagine its future. From relief efforts to rebuilding, we're raising up voices, stories, and solutions to build back Black Altadena better and stronger than ever. It's Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr every Saturday at 10 a.m. beginning Saturday, March 8th with an encore presentation, Sundays at noon.
James Farr, the man who is the voice for Black Los Angeles.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
A lot of people cannot keep up with the story they told. So when you ask them more than once, there's going to be variations in their story. Now, I don't want to sit here and say the second a man gives you a variation in the story, that he is automatically some horrible manipulating liar. I am saying it's a red flag. And if you follow my videos, then you know red flags are things to follow up on, are things to address, not to just cut them off and run. Let's dig a little deeper. We have to also take a full picture. If this man has been awesome in every way and he doesn't exhibit any of the other behaviors I'm about to list, because typically liars will exist at least two or more of these behaviors. But if he doesn't if he doesn't engage in any of these other behaviors, then it is very possible that this is just an isolated incident. Maybe he forgot a certain detail that he remembered the second time. Possible. But again, a lot of people...
Wait, I want to play that one more time. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to get to Attila and her red flags and this is why sometimes I have to deconstruct certain things. Okay? No disrespect to anybody. Not the brother who's speaking, Stephen Speaks, or the people who listen to him or myself. But damn it, man. Listen. Most people listen in black and white. They don't see colors. They don't see nuance. They listen in black and white. They perceive in black and white. Right? So when I'm listening, we have to be mindful of you got to look out. Somebody might take advantage of you. A lot of times the advice is framed as defensive. Because this is how you know if they lying. What if a liar is giving the information about lying? Does that invalidate it? I don't know. I'm not saying that it does. What I'm saying is we have to take what people are saying from their level of consciousness with a grain of salt. We'll be listening because we're looking for answers we haven't cultivated from within ourselves. So we'll go to somebody's podcast, and I'm including myself. I'm going to go listen to Zoe because he got the answers. No, you go look into self and see if the answers that I have for me resonate with you. And if not, dig deeper into self. Gosh, I'm listening to what he's saying, and it's like, just be careful. It's framed like defense mechanism. This is how you can tell when somebody's lying. This is how you can tell when somebody's taking advantage of you. But nobody is saying this is how you can tell when you're lying to yourself. This is how you can tell when you're taking advantage of yourself. This is how you can tell when you're engaging in masochistic behaviors, because you knew not to go back to that situation and you did it anyway. You knew this person meant you no good and you did it anyway. You knew this person was going to run when you leaned in, and you leaned all the way in like Michael Jackson in Smooth Criminal. You knew that this was ill-gotten gain, but you did it anyway. Do you see? You knew you was tying up your laces to run away from something that was probably good for you because it was revealing something to you about you that you didn't have the strength or the resilience to deal with. We need to hear that narrative. Play that clip one more time. Listen to how he frames it. And at a certain level of consciousness, absolutely, this is 100% correct. I'm not trying to besmirch the brother's information. I'm just saying we have to be careful of how we frame things. It's all defensive. It's all the problem is outside. It's not internal. Play it.
Keep up with the story they told. So when you ask them more than once, there's going to be variations in their story. Now, I don't want to sit here and say the second a man gives you a variation in the story, that he is automatically some horrible manipulating liar. I am saying it's a red flag. And if you follow my videos, then you know red flags are things to follow up on, are things to address, not to just cut them off and run. Let's dig a little deeper. We have to also take a full picture. If this man has been awesome in every way and he doesn't exhibit any of the other behaviors I'm about to list, because typically liars will exist at least 2 or more of these behaviors. But if he doesn't if he doesn't engage in any of these other behaviors, then it is very possible that this is just, an isolated incident. Maybe he forgot a certain detail that he remembered the second time. Possible. But again, a lot of people cannot keep up with the story they told.
Because then I'm going to say, where's the empirical support that backs the 1 or 2, examples that if they show up, this is not like narcissistic criteria. Where you say, oh, you meet these 9, these 12 criteria. Oh, you NPD classes are certified. This is not. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just framed like defensiveness. Somebody else is the problem. And like I said, I'm not saying there is no truth in what he's saying. I'm just saying it just can't be so absolute. You have to generalize it a bit more. Attila from Houston, Texas. Come on, deal breakers. Red flags. Tell me what they are.
Real quick, though, I want to address something because he talked about variations in the story.
Yes.
To me, that mirrors the variations in that partner's understanding, because I can give levels of understanding depending upon the story that you provide, which to me just translates to reasons for me to stay in a situation that I may be uncomfortable in. That's neither here nor there.
Because now let me hit you with this, because I love that you brought up the variations piece.
Mm-hmm.
We accept Paul's story as true, and there's variations in the retelling of his story about meeting. Don't hold on.
Come on now.
Yeah, hold on. Is Paul a liar? Huh? Saint Paul, disciple or deceiver? I want to know, because Paul said he heard the voice of Christ on the road on the road to Damascus. Then when he retold the story, he said he saw, but he didn't hear. Hey, there's variations in the story. Now, if that's going to apply to intimate relationships, should it apply to the scripture? I don't know. Talk to me, Attila. Is that a red flag in the Bible? Tell me.
Well, I would definitely say so. You got authors out there. I forgot the name of one, but you got authors out there that mention this, the idea, the art of storytelling, essentially, in the ways in which we accept things based on our own understanding, right? That's why I say there's levels to this. Right. So in regards to my deal breakers, I'll mention one, which is cheating, which is interesting because I'm a flight risk.
You a what?
I can create I'm a flight risk. I am a relationship flight risk.
What? Please define that for us.
As a fearful avoidance, right?
Here we
Meaning
go.
that I have the ability to cling but also leave you. I would say that's a relationship flight list for a lot of people.
A flight risk? I'm out.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm in relationship jail, don't give me no bond because I might bail up out of here, okay?
Right. I hear you.
I got my
understand.
passport on deck.
Right. You ready to catch your bags is packed, everything.
Right. So it's interesting to have this red flag of cheating because you can imagine what an environment like a flight risk would create. I've seen myself create an environment that's conducive to being cheated on.
Ooh. So you kind of sabotaged it because you knew that your bags are already packed?
In a sense.
Oh.
Sure. I mean, what are deactivation strategies except that exact very thing?
To create emotional distance.
Uh-huh.
And physical distance.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Mental distance is where it starts, though. Because we can't see one another's thoughts, we can't really monitor or ascertain how much a person is into the relationship with us. We want to believe that the person is there just as much as we are, right? But if you're like me, you have the wounds of worthiness wounds, right? But you also have this kind of like abandonment thing going on, whatever the case. I'm scanning for all threats. So what's interesting with that and trying to do this inner work, I don't really, now that I've started kind of doing work, I don't really pay attention to I'm not scanning for red flags anymore. I'm more so interested in how the person shows up because I'm learning that that's mirroring me. So one of the fears that I think came up for me recently was just the fear, I think, of being like understood. That sounds really crazy, but as much as like my heart has craved to be understood, the moment that it finally showed up, I'm like, oh God, where do I go from here? Oh God.
Okay.
Because when you're understood, you're also clocked.
They can see you. Right. You're seen. When you're understood, you're seen. Ooh.
And when you're seen, there's a potentiality for being left.
Ooh, that's that vulnerable piece.
But normally, right. But normally I'm the flight risk. So I would say that's one of them. Let me think of another one other than cheating. One of my big ones that has been really hard for me is lying, or the perception that someone could possibly be lying. For me, that has been like a really big, like, I guess, red flag or deal breaker, because I have like my anxiety being on 10, and a lot of times I don't want to admit that I'm anxious. And so like, if I get the feeling that someone is telling me an untruth, or I feel like they've lied before, even if they've like apologized for it, like it's really hard for me to like forgive and let go, because I kind of have that spirit of unforgiveness like poking at me all the time. So I'm having to really like work on that and essentially say that if I have forgiven, then I have forgiven. There are no takebacks.
I love it. Attila, guess what you just did?
All right, Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the house. If you want to put your city on the board, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. My homeboy Ronan from Indianapolis, Naptown, the legend, Ronan, Mr. Quipple Quip. He finna come in here and act up. I already know red flags, deal breakers, the one drop rule. Do they make one mistake and are you out? Are you a relationship flight risk as well, Ronan? What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't say as much. If it's anything like a violation of respect, then yeah, I'll say that.
Give me an example of a violation of respect.
Okay, so I pay attention to patterns, and I think that's what helps me determine giving that person enough rope to redeem themselves or hang themselves.
Okay, stop right there. Just stop right there. Redeem themselves or hang themselves. You pay attention to patterns. I'm just going to ask really quickly, why do you pay attention to their patterns?
Because the thing is, like, what I was raised to see is certain people act a certain way around certain individuals. Mm-hmm. So It's like either you're performing for validation for them, or you're performing to use me as a prop on the stage, and that's going to have me respond a certain way. So the thing is, like, when you're out in public and you're doing something humiliating, like outright disrespectful, just to gain approval of the people, it's going to end real bad, very bad.
Okay, so basically, you're looking at other people's patterns as a defense mechanism to protect yourself so that you are not taken advantage of, or that they're not just performing and disingenuous in that performance, right? In other words, just performing to get something at the end of the day. So you're kind of watching them to make sure. So wouldn't that be like watching the little bad kid in the liquor store that you know is going to steal a honey bun? You know he's going to steal a honey bun.
Well, true. If the child steals a honey bun and I throw a liquor bottle out and go about my business.
But do you see what look at what we're setting up. We are suspicious of people. Why?
Suspicion is, it's like, I pay very little. I pay some attention to what people say, but I pay attention to what they do, because what they do, there's thought and intent most times in it.
Okay.
Because like the thing about respect is like when I'm around certain people, I know their boundaries. I know how to act, how to be to respect those boundaries. Some people wish to violate those things, I guess, either to prove a point or just to show where they stand.
So go deeper. Let's go deeper. Do you pay more attention to their patterns or your own?
Pay attention to my own.
That's great, because I would be willing to wager that 99.99999% of all of humanity is paying attention to their patterns over their own. But do you see what I'm trying, the framework that I'm trying to establish here, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else is the problem. Their flags are red. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not I am a red flag and the red flag in them is a reflection of the red flag in me. Nobody is saying that. I need your help, Ronan. Why is that the case?
Because accountability is terrifying to many.
Ooh, here we go. Come on.
It's too easy to assign blame to everyone else, but when it's very difficult to look in the mirror knowing that you're accountable for certain things. Like, if you consistently run through a certain breed of people or patterns, then you have to, crucify yourself for giving all that stage time to a lot of these clowns.
Oh, Lord.
And the thing is, like, when you run into certain lessons or certain people, those are the lessons you're running from. So you have to address those first, and then you'll cut down on those run-ins.
Stay with me, Ronan. Stay with me. The voice of reason is on fire when we come forward. More from Naptown. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists pathologist on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on autopsy, then click on request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
In a relationship of some kind. Okay, we're gonna talk about relationships. Relationships is cool. Everybody don't mind being in a relationship unless you just got out of one and you're just glad as hell you by yourself. But let's say you've been dating a person for a little while. Have you ever noticed that sometimes they just get comfortable? They just start to get a little bit too comfortable. And you started noticing stuff that you didn't notice before. That's when you got to really find out, is this the relationship I'm gonna stay in or not? Like, I'm gonna go back and forth, because sometimes it's the men that get comfortable, sometimes it's the ladies that get comfortable. Ladies, have you ever been dating a man, and then somewhere in the relationship you realize that he spends less time taking a shower than kids do? You ever seen that right there? Here's another one, ladies. You ever been dating a man and then you realize for the first time that he defends his mama way too much? You can't say nothing about his mama. Here's one for the fellas. Now, ladies, don't get tight on me. I told you we was gonna go back and forth. Now, I done 2 on the men. I gotta do 1 on you. Fellas, you ever been dating a woman and she got so comfortable, she started coming to bed like she's expecting bad weather? She got on a coat, a beanie, some thick slocks, sweatpants, gloves. Ladies, here's one with the fellas. You ever been sitting up, you've been dating a man for a little while and your mama come over? He walk in the kitchen, ain't got on nothing but his drawers, rubbing his stomach, talking about, hey, Miss Helen. This ain't no Miss Helen, this is my mama.
If you can't be comfortable in the relationship, where can you be comfortable? Is it even possible to get too comfortable? Which one do you want? A safe place? You can't say we got to create a safe space but you done got too comfortable. Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost like the way we've been conditioned is to relate in reverse. Too comfortable could imply, hey, you've fallen off of your performance. And I'm not really with you because you are a work in progress, i.e. a mess. I'm with the performance. Don't get too comfortable and fall off the performance. If somebody got too comfortable, that sounds like you're becoming yourself. You're being who you really are. See, I think, although it was funny what Steve was saying, I think Steve is describing how this society has relationships reversed. Don't get too comfortable. What in the entire hell do you mean? I'm supposed to be comfortable with you. That's how I get vulnerable. That's how we get intimate. And I'm not just talking about physically intimate. That's how we get close. I can't be me. So maybe the real deal breaker, like I said earlier in the show, is love, is vulnerability. Ooh, you want to get vulnerable? You want to get close? You want to bond? You want to spike oxytocin? What do you know? You want to spike the testosterone and the oxytocin dance? No. You better keep up that damn performance. You getting too comfortable. Don't make me do a topic. Uncle Steve that's the big homie. We gonna show Steve nothing but love. That is the big homie. When I come forward, we going back to Naptown to talk to my brother, Ronan. He gonna give me all of his deal breakers and his red flags. Let's go!
It's time to give a damn, let's work together.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. President Trump is praising an email from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency asking federal workers what they did last week, calling it, quote, genius, unquote. Musk says no response by tonight will count as a resignation, though some agencies have told employees to ignore it. Chicago priest Michael Flager and other faith leaders are urging a Target boycott over its rollback of diversity efforts. The move follows Target aligning with President Trump's order to dismantle DEI. Retired General George Casey says President Trump's firing of African American Joint Chiefs Chairman Charles Brown Jr. is destabilizing. He told ABC's This Week that sudden leadership changes create uncertainty and leaders should not be punished for following past orders. And Grammy-winning R&B singer Roberta Flack has died at 88. Known for hits like Killing Me Softly, she was the first artist to win back-to-back Grammys for Record of the Year. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Love your baby's teeth. Before that first tooth, wipe their gums with a washcloth. When those first teeth come in, use a soft toothbrush and just a tidbit of toothpaste. And take them to the dentist by their first birthday. Learn more at loveyourbabiesteeth.com. Brought to you by the LA County Department of Public Health.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Life blooms in beautiful ways. The Afia Center invites you to celebrate At the End with Red Gala, honoring the strength and resilience of Black women living with HIV. Join us for an evening of empowerment as we launch the Barbara Cambridge Scholarship and kick off Herstory Month with our theme, Life in Full Bloom. Your support helps create vital HIV programming and builds a future where every voice is heard and every story matters. The End with Red Gala, because every flower deserves to bloom. To learn more and to donate, visit theafiacenter.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Westwood Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-511-2112. That's 800-511-2112. 800-511-2112.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk Radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's something I want to tell you. There's something I think that you should know. It's not that I shouldn't really love you. Let's take it slow. When we get to know each other and we're both feeling much stronger, then let's try to talk it over. Let's wait a while longer. Let's wait a while before it's too late. Let's wait a while before we go too far. Remember that special night when all of the stars were shining bright. We made our first endeavor.
The reason why fault finding is so obsessive of a habit is because it allows you to look at yourself in a more positive light when you're pointing out faults in other people. But when you're constantly fault finding over your partner's every little weakness, who does that hurt at the end of the day? Because you will end up lonely and sad because you constantly push others away. On the flip side, when you're able to focus on the positives of your partner, you bring out the best in each other. You complement each other instead of constantly insulting each other. The team will be stronger. Your relationship will be happier, and your partner will be more loving towards you because they feel uplifted by you instead of torn down.
Yeah, we know about the slight collectors. We know. Are you a slight collector? I'm just interested to know. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Let me get my brother back in here. You know who he is. Ronan, Naptown.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Deal breakers, bro. Red flags.
Red flags. Those who believe a situationship is a functional relationship.
Wow. No, let's peel that back. Wow. That's interesting. That's a red flag for you, right?
Well, let's say, I'll say, instead of a situationship, sponsorship is a functional relationship.
Okay. I see you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you Floyd Mayweather. It looked like you finna do a pull counter with the right, but you hook it and then it's a right hook. Okay, I see. So, because I was going to counter that with every relationship is a situationship because everybody is a work in progress. But you caught me. I would have got knocked out. I would have been Ricky Hatton. It looked like a pull counter just straight right, and then you hooked it. Oh, I see. Sponsorship. Wow. Yeah. That's a red flag. Got you. Give me more.
Let's see. Women who are short but sexy.
Oh. Why are short, sexy women red flags?
No, I said short but sexy. Those who look good, but when she starts talking, it's like that's what Attila mentioned the whole thing. Attila mentioned the whole thing about 3 squints. A rule.
Wait, hold on. I'm not letting you do that. What? Is that a thing? Listen, I missed the latest colloquialism. You didn't say what I thought you said, did you?
I said that short but sexy is when she's intellectually sterile. When she looks good, but when she starts speaking, you start questioning how does she survive every day.
Now all my clinicians are going to be like, don't let him pathologize. Wow. No disrespect to my neurodivergent fam. Ain't nothing but love over here, man. Wow. Here go Ronan. All right, keep going. Red flag. We listening.
If her car or her residence is messier than a petting zoo, I have questions.
What about
another red flag?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Another red flag is her associations. Like, again, if she's surrounded by 4 edgeless hookers, then she's going to be the 5th one.
Oh, my God. Ronan just comes in here shooting. What about red flags for men? Because women are going to be like, yo, Zoe, don't let him do this.
For the fellas, it's like, I pay attention to his associations. If he's surrounded by a bunch of bums who are going nowhere, he's going to be in line to be the next one too.
Right.
I pay attention to the words of affirmation or defamation he speaks to himself.
Words of defamation is crazy.
I pay attention to what is this person's passion? Is it their passion to be a victim, or is their passion to be something extraordinary?
Wow. Whoa, keep going. Hey, you cooking now. Now it's hot up in here. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, and the thing is, like, their view of the relationship with themselves, because it's always pointing fingers about everyone else, but I always look at the common denominator, just like I did look at myself. So
all right.
That's another reason why I pay attention to patterns too.
Okay.
And I pay attention to what people focus on as far as what they read, how they think, their conversations. Like, yes, it's good to have range, but it depends on that level of range. It could be higher level range, and it could be something stuck in the basement.
Now, let me ask you this. What are yours, intrapersonally speaking? What are your red flags? Yours, your work.
My red flags is when disrespect is not served at the table, I will flip the table.
Oh, so you're violent.
Now, I would say violent, but I'm more creative with
reactive.
Disrespect.
You're reactive.
Yeah, I can't be.
You lack emotional regulation. You Scorpio, I already know the story.
And I'm not a fan of the communication bully. When it comes to them and control freaks, it really triggers some things that I've worked on for quite a bit. So I don't like.
Wait a minute, Ronan.
Hold
on, Ronan. You know I haven't done a horoscope show in a while, and I'm not gonna let a Scorpio come on here and talk about emotional bullies and control freaks. You know good and well you a Scorpio, man. Tell the truth, Ronan. Come on.
I've tampered down on that. I just like it's more situational. Most times I look for giving people more empathy than I give myself. That's probably something I'm still working on.
Yeah,
but
big.
I try to listen, to people, especially when they're going through something. I give them that time and space to express themselves.
But you got to start with you, then give to them.
Oh yeah.
You gotta pour into them what's left from what you've poured into yourself.
Yeah, and I've been doing that. It makes perfect sense because I've been getting in the habit of not just paying myself, but really tapping into a lot of things I love to do, just as far as like with art, things like that. So that way, I come correct, and there'd be an air of reciprocity, when I show up. But when the disrespect is there, it's something different.
Man, we got to do a show about disrespect because we have to address that. But let me just say this, brother. Guess what you just did?
Just blew up Indianapolis.
He just blew up Indianapolis. Ronan from Naptown always comes in and shows completely out. When we come forward, what I can't see who. When we come forward, we're going to keep this fire lit. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
But you know now what I thought was happening.
So what is pleasure? Why does man cling to pleasure, pursue pleasure? From time immemorial, pleasure has been one of the principles that man has pursued in the name of God, in the name of peace, in the name of 10 different ways. What is pleasure? Why this insistence on pleasure? Both externally and inwardly. Is pleasure a memory? A remembrance?
I gotta do Krishnamurti, but sometimes I forget we need to have him early because he's cooking. Listen, man, in alignment with tonight's topic, listen to what he said about pleasure, right? Now listen to this question. Do the red flags we notice in others represent projections of inner turmoil? Or do they signal genuine mismatches in energy and intent? I don't think you can know that unless you get internally neutral. Internally neutral. I don't think you can know that. You guys know that that's one of my sayings here on this show. You can't get mutual with someone else, your partner, until you get neutral internally. Do the red flags we notice in others represent projections of inner turmoil? Or do they signal genuine mismatches in energy and intent? Both factors are at play. Research in attachment theory reveals that insecure attachment can lead to heightened sensitivity to perceived threats, essentially projecting inner turmoil. While behavioral studies confirm that some red flags, such as consistent patterns of abuse or neglect, objectively indicate genuine mismatch in values or compatibility. Both correct, right? I'm going to hit you with this. I'm going to come right out and say it. You guys tell me if you think I'm wrong. Do you think we live in a securely attached society or an insecurely attached society? What are your thoughts? I see people in the chat right now. If you had to wager on it, do you see us living in a securely attached society or an insecurely attached society? I think we're in an insecurely toxic society. Insecurely attached / toxic society. I believe that to be true. Because everybody who considers themselves in a good relationship typically are people that are getting what they want. Listen to what I'm about to say. They're typically getting what they want, but they're still not being who they are. You get what you want, but you're not being who you... Man, that's not a good relationship. How might an obsession with detecting red flags itself indicate an avoidant attachment style that perpetuates relational distancing, emotional distancing? Empirical evidence from attachment research, ergo studies by McCullenser and Shaver, demonstrates that individuals with avoidant attachment styles often hypervigilantly scan for negative cues as a protective mechanism. They looking for what's wrong. This overemphasis on red flags is a deviation, or a deactivation strategy. We should do a show on deactivation strategies too. That paradoxically reinforce distancing and limits intimacy. In what ways can a deep dive into our metaphysical core reframe relationship challenges as portals for transcending ordinary experience. Interdisciplinary studies in transpersonal psychology and mindfulness based interventions suggest that exploring one's inner metaphysical beliefs fosters cognitive reframing. By viewing challenges as transformative rather than purely problematic, individuals can access deeper levels of resilience and growth. A finding supported by research on mindfulness and stress reduction. I don't know if people are all that comfortable with mindfulness yet. I think mindfulness scares people. Andy, your thoughts? Mindfulness scares people because when you start getting mindful, you start seeing yourself. And when you start seeing yourself, you be like, I don't want to see that. And I don't want them to see that. I'm telling you, spirituality hurts. It's ugly. It's scary. That's the real scary. Let me get Flossie from Atlanta, Georgia in here. Atlanta, Georgia. Flossie, you're on the line. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, I'm not Flossie. I'm the saucy sickler. And my thoughts are there's proof from previous callers that red flags can come from inner turmoil. Because if you're saying something like, oh, a person that travels is a red flag, or things such as that, it shows that you have not done the work to heal from your previous relationship. So as soon as you recognize someone doing something that led to hurt in your previous relationship, that's going to trigger a hurt in you and make you think that all people that take this action is because of this.
I love it. I love what you're saying because you're saying don't speak in absolutes. Not everybody is like that. And because maybe you have experienced a negative experience with that, giving that example from the chat, I agree with you. Not everybody is the same way. You can't judge a book by its cover. Just because somebody is doing a certain thing doesn't mean they're doing it for nefarious reasons. I appreciate you for bringing Atlanta, Georgia in the building. Listen, I start the conversations. It is really up to you to finish them. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, always on complete fire. And you know, this week we got topics lined up. We got heaters lined up all week. I can't wait to get them going. My playlist has been my co-host. We were trying to do Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, but Lord, Janet. I know, but all of Janet's records were just dominating, and it was great. I loved it. Hey, I can't wait until tomorrow. When we come forward, we got another barn burner. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Deuces.